You are born in the wrong century. You don't know that yet. On the morning you enter the world in a narrow stone house in Bristol, your mother screens into a wool rag, and the midwife smells of animal fat and rosemary. The year is 1322. The air is damp. It is always damp. Your father is a barber surgeon. He bleeds men for coin and pulls teeth with iron pliers. You watch him from the corner of the room. The thin child with serious eyes. He does not ask you to help. He simply assumes you will. By the time you are 7, you hold the bucket. By 9, you know how to tie a tourniquet. You know which herbs are bitter and which are sweet, which poultices draw fever and which merely smell as though they might. You know the weight of a man's arm when the blood leaves it. You know what fear sounds like when it lives in a chest. You do not know what is coming. At 16, you are apprenticed to a physician in London, a real physician. He wears a long robe and quotes Galen and Avicenna from memory. He believes disease is an imbalance of the 4 humors. He is utterly certain of this. His certainty is impressive. It will also kill people. You learn to balance what he teaches against what you observe. The theory says cold food causes phlegm. You notice that the children in the river district cough regardless of what they eat. You do not say this out loud. You hold the bucket, and you watch. You are 23 when you pass your examination. You are now a physician. You have a robe. You have a small room above a tanner's shop. You are proud. You should not be. It begins as rumor. Ships from Genoa arriving in Sicily in October 1347. Sailors dead at the oars or dying on the docks. Their skin darkened, their bodies covered with swellings. Black, they say. Black swellings the size of eggs, weeping blood and pus. The sailors who are still breathing are not breathing well. The port authorities order the ships back to sea. It does not matter. Whatever was on those ships is already on land. It does not care about orders. You hear about it in late winter. A merchant from France. His eyes are yellowish. He speaks in fragments. He says entire villages. He says the priests stopped coming. He says the bodies piled up in the squares because there was no one left to move them. You think he is exaggerating. You think he is a frightened man who has seen 1 or 2 deaths and lost his perspective. You think this for about 6 more weeks. By spring of 1348, it is in Paris. By summer, it is in the south of England. By autumn, it is everywhere. The Guild of Physicians in London begins assigning doctors to affected parishes. There is a shortage of volunteers. No one is surprised by this. The church says it is God's punishment. The astronomers say it is a conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter and Mars in the sign of Aquarius, corrupting the air. You have been issued a robe of waxed leather and a mask with a long beak stuffed with dried herbs, lavender, mint, rose petals, camphor, to filter the bad air. You put on the mask for the first time in a room full of other masked physicians. You look like birds. Dark birds in long coats, attending a feast you would rather not attend. You walk out into the street. The smell hits you before the sight does. It is a smell with layers, sweet on top, which is wrong because sweetness should not exist here. Beneath that, rot. Beneath that, something animal and ancient, something your body understands, even if your mind does not yet. You walk quickly. Your boots are thick. You have been told not to touch anything you do not have to touch. The first house is a wool merchant's family, 6 of them. The father is already dead. He died 2 days ago, and no one has come to collect the body. The 2 eldest children are in the late stages. The mother sits in the corner holding the youngest, a girl of perhaps 4, who is alive, but barely. The girl has a swelling at her neck the size of a fist. It is black at the center. The girl does not cry. She has stopped crying. You examine them. You make notes. You have nothing useful to offer. You lance the swelling with a blade. The mother grabs your arm. Through your gloves, through your waxed leather, you feel the pressure of her fingers. She is asking you something. You cannot hear her clearly through the mask. You think she is asking you to save them. You cannot. You work 16-hour days. You walk from house to house, parish to parish. Some days the streets are nearly empty. Some days you pass carts piled with bodies, men walking beside them with rags over their faces, ice down. The graveyards overflow by November. They dig trenches outside the city walls. You do not look at the trenches for long. You see things that alter you permanently.
A priest who has given last rites so many times he has forgotten the words. He stands in a doorway with his hands open, reciting something that is no longer quite Latin. A family of 5, all dead in the same bed, arms around each other. They died together, you think. This is either terrible or merciful. You stand in the doorway for a long time trying to decide which. A boy of 10 who recovers. He is one of perhaps 20 you see recover over all the months. He looks at you with eyes that have seen too much. You look back at him through your beak mask. You think, you will live. You are too stunned to feel happiness about this. The mask does not work. You understand this slowly over months as the physicians around you begin to fall. Your mentor from London, the one who quoted Galen, he dies in January 1349. He is buried in a trench. There is no ceremony. 2 of the 4 physicians you were assigned with are dead by February. You have headaches. You check your own skin obsessively every morning, armpits, groin, neck. You press your fingers in, looking for swellings. Every morning so far, nothing. You do not know why. You will never know why. Some days you think you have already died, and this is what death is. Just more walking, more buckets, more houses with the same smell and the same eyes you cannot answer. By 1350, it begins to ease. Not end, it never fully ends, but ease. The dying slows. The streets have people in them again. Not as many as before. A third of England is gone, some villages entirely. You walk through one in the countryside west of London on a gray March morning. The houses are still standing. The doors hang open. There are chickens in one of the yards, still alive, strutting around in the mud because no one told them to stop. You stand in the middle of the empty village for a long time. You have saved, by your best count, perhaps 30 people. You have watched over 2,000 die. You are 28 years old, and you feel ancient. You take off the beak mask and hold it in your hands. The dried herbs inside have long since lost their smell. You don't know what to do with it. You put it back on. You keep walking. There is always another village. There is always another house. There is always someone in the corner who looks up when you come through the door with those same eyes, half hope, half already past it. You enter. You hold the bucket. You watch.